Good evening, my fellow Americans. It is indeed Monday, June 20th, 2022. I'd like to take this time to wish you all a happy Monday. Those of you who are celebrating Juneteenth, we'd like to take this time to wish you the very best on this wonderful federal holiday. Those of you who had the day off, kudos to you. And those of you who had to work to support the American dream, again, kudos to you as well. Again, ladies and gentlemen, it is already 8 o'clock to 2000 hours at the Robert Duverny Show. You know, if it's Monday, if it's 8 p.m., it's a Robert Duverny Show. Well, tonight we have, as usual, a wonderful show. Not to brag about this show. You know, this show comes to you every Monday at 8 p.m. Well, tonight the topic we'll be delve into is also, of course, Juneteenth. That has been the topic that was displayed on the show. And this is where we're going to be elaborate and... So I'm giving you a few seconds to call a friend, a colleague, let them know that the Robert Duverny Show is already on, and then we encourage them to go ahead and log in and call a buddy of yours and let them know that, hey, the show is on, it's on, okay? So I encourage you to take heed in everything that we do, and because we remember that we have a great show tonight, and I don't want you to miss anything. So call a buddy of yours, call a good friend, let them know that we are on the Robert Duverny Show, the only show in town. Just before we delve into the topic for tonight, we'd like to give you a few pointers that we're going to be discussing tonight. Of course, we're looking at the U.S. economy as well. We'll look at the political field that there's quite a few primaries going on, and it's telling us that we're still on the verge of a major election. As you know, the midterm election is only 163 days away, so we're not much time left, and the Democratic Party really is lagging behind on numerous fronts, and they need to pick up the slack. And the Republican Party, it's theirs to lose. They have a unique opportunity to really ransack the House, and both the Senate and the House, and then they're going to be in control of most likely of both the Senate and the House of Representatives. And what's at stake? There's a lot of stakes, and we have currently just last week. I'm sure most of you had a chance to see the January 6th panel, who doing a tremendous job. This is a job of class. And we encourage you, those of you who have the time to watch the panel, I encourage you to do so, because this is the best way. That's a beauty that we're living in America. We're living in a society that promotes democracy. And then if something is wrong, I think it's best that we can bring that to the fold and talk about it on a larger scale. And whereas others may know exactly what happened on that horrific day of January 6th of 2020, and actually 2021. So we need to get on the bottom of it, and then make sure that things like that never repeat in the American history, because there's a lot at stake. All right, as you gather in, and we're gonna delve right through into our topic for tonight. And just before we do that, I'd like to wish all my fathers out there happy Father's Day. Those of you who had a chance to spend time with family members, those of you who had a chance to travel to see your dad, your daddy, your father, a significant other in your life, and we applaud you, and we ought to celebrate the fathers. The home needs the father, and that without a doubt. The father is an important, is a crucial ingredient. Technically, if we're cooking, and we could see the without the dad, really, things wouldn't be quite as relevant as they are. And I'm sure we all play a marvelous job into that. I'd like to say Happy Father's Day to Mr. Romeo McPhee, a great man from Palm Beach. Happy Father's Day. You're the first father. Of course, I got to give you a shout out here. Thank you for logging in. And it's important. And last night, I was fortunate enough to be treated by my lovely daughter, who took me to a candlelight concert where I get to see Thais, and I think that was great. And I could not ask for a better Father's Day gift. kudos to you, my lovely daughter. And of course, my daughter's also in Kuwait right now. You're probably watching the show. Lord, I love you dearly. Thank you for reaching out on this significant day, making that Father's Day extra special. And then all of you fathers out there, you ought to be celebrated on a regular basis, not just on the third Sunday of the month of June, but however, it's a start. I'm sure as we do more in the home, we're going to be celebrated more frequently, and then history will tell the rest. All right, kudos to you all the fathers out there. All right, we're switching topic right now. We're switching gear to the historical legacy of Juneteenth. As you know, we all celebrating Juneteenth, and most of you may wonder, what is Juneteenth? I'm sure this is not taught in school, not particularly in the South. And this is things that has been hidden from us. And then those of you who may wonder what's the whole thing about Juneteenth, Juneteenth really is a combination of the month of June and 19th. So when they combine the two, it's called contraction, Juneteenth. June 19th, and this is when the state of Texas, who from the South, was the Lone State. That's a Lone Star State, who after 2 years of 2.5 years of emancipation by the Abraham Lincoln, actually after the Civil War, all slaves in the South were freed, with the exception of Texas, which they did not know. So I want to just give you a blueprint of what we'll be discussing about. This is exactly what we're celebrating. Again, remember the quote of Dr. King. Dr. King once said, "Injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere." Just because the blacks in the North and in the Midwest were freed, even all the slaves were freed in 1863, on January 1st, 1863. But then again, the fact that there was one state, okay, the 20th state in the nation, did not recognize the emancipation, that means none of the blacks were free. So this is I think these somewhat embody the message of Dr. King, that injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. So until all of us are free, then we're not really free. All right. So just give you a quick snapshot of the on the Juneteenth. As you know, I'm going to give you a little brief history of the Civil War. What started the Civil War? You may wonder what happened in the Civil War. With the Civil War there was three premises for the Civil War. Of course, there was slavery, which is a moral value that we're trying to be moralized here, and at the same time, we also think about secession. Those were the key point, and also sectionalism. Those were the three categories that actually fired up the Civil War. And in the Civil War, and it was the bloodiest day in America. I mean, you look at the South and the North fighting. Remember that Mr. Abraham Lincoln, president, says a house divided cannot stand. So it's important that we as a nation, we've come on the brink of destruction, and we were destroying each other. And just because of what? Over sectionalism, over secession, over slavery. And now the slavery movement, really, let's say the industry of slavery, it was so marketable, it was so profitable, that there were some who argued that we cannot let these guys go free. And then this is free money. Now you would understand why it took Texas 2.5 years later to actually recognize the Declaration of Emancipation, because free labor. Remember that free labor. Imagine you have someone working for you 40 hours, actually 80 hours a week, and we're not talking about two individuals. We're talking about millions of people working for you, and you owe these people nothing. So think about the revenue that you're making off of these people's back. And you don't owe any allegiance to them. You don't owe any health care. You don't owe them any vacation. Okay? You only owe them food that they can eat, so they can. And then now on top of it, you have these people, right, procreated. They have their own children, their kids, so they can work in your field. But slavery was the most horrific thing that happened in the United States. And there are those who will tend not to want to talk about this issue, but this is an issue that we're bringing forth. And then when we talk about things of this caliber, of this nature, it's not to cultivate hate. No, what is wrong is wrong. And then what we need to learn from what happened so it never happened again. Or something happened in the January 6th. We're hoping that this is America, the beacon of light. This is a country that all the nations aspire to. All the nations copy our independence, our constitution, to make their own constitution. So in other words, we are the beacon of light of the world. So these things do happen. When they happen, we need to make sure that it never happen again. That's the reason why. So it's not about hate. It's not about bringing segregation. No, that's not the point. We're not trying to get set. No. The point is that we need to know about history. So the only way we can move forward is when we know our history. And when we see it on the verge of happening again, we could say, I've seen this movie before. We're not accepting it. We don't want that. So it will take the 13th Amendment of the Constitution to the 13th Amendment to integrated the emancipation of blacks from slavery. So this is key, and I believe that Juneteenth is very prominent. It's very important that we teach these values to our children and to all Americans, regardless if you are blacks, Hispanics, white, Indians. We all should know, because blacks in the United States have been the vehicle of this great economy that we have. Yes, blacks have been the vehicle of this economy that we have. So, and when we see these things, it's not about hatred, and it's a time that we can teach each other. It's a time that we can appreciate one another, the stride that we've made, the suffering that we went through. We're not asking for a handout. We're just asking to be recognized as human beings, and at the same time giving us opportunities that are due to blacks. Because if I've been there for you, the least you could do in return is be there for me. One hand washes the other. So when I got your back, it was against my will, and then you profited all you could. And then yet, the minute we start talking about it, you feel like, this is so dirty. Let's put it in. Let's not talk about it. Why not talk about it? I'm sure most of you who've been in a relationship, I'm going to open this conversation and then close at the same time. If something is wrong in the home and there's some misunderstanding or some harsh words have been uttered, from the couple, I think the best way we can move from that is to talk about it. And then where I fall short, where she falls short, vice versa. So now when we talk about the issues like that, we bring it on the table, and we tend to make amends. We make amends. In other words, we try to come to reach a consensus. So these type of events do not repeat in a home. I guess the same thing when it comes to slavery. We're not asking for a free handout. We're just asking that we teach these values to our kids. And I think this is a historical moment. I applaud the Biden administration for making Juneteenth a federal holiday as of last year. And this is a holiday that has been celebrated throughout the United States, in some states. And a lot of black folks didn't even know there's a Juneteenth. And all they know is that blacks were freed as on January 1st, 1863. But in reality, it will take 2.5 years later, in 1865, on June 19th, 1865, and then it will take about 250,000 soldiers to 25,000. Actually, I'm correct. 2,500 soldiers to travel down to Texas to relay the message to the Texans. So again, I'm sure there are some who may argue that it was profitable, so that's the reason why some chose not to free the slaves, and then they wanted to keep it in the dark, and so there may be some validity to that as well. But I think Juneteenth is a unique opportunity that we have as Americans to sit around the table, the kitchen, the dining table, and to speak to our young people. to let them know how important it is, how crucial it is that we can make the best of what we have. Oftentimes we enjoy the freedom that we having right now because someone paid the price, and then that price was paid very high in unimaginable sacrifices. Those who march, those who were lynched, those who were killed, they paid the price just so you and me today can be freed. I look at Juneteenth as a unique opportunity for all African Americans, all Americans, as a matter of fact, because the history of African American is a history of all Americans. We're all intertwined. We all one big family. Yes, but although we may have our differences, but we're all one big family. So I pray that as we move forward, as we engage in serious debate, let's bring these things to light. Let analyze these things. Let make sense of them, and so our future can look much brighter. Because the future depending on us, the future generation. So I believe that Black history should be taught in school, and particularly the contribution that Blacks have made to this great nation that we have. Oftentimes we tend of the Blacks as someone looking for a handout. It's not so. This is what they want you to believe. But the Robert Duverny Show, we have taken an oath. That oath was always to not to create division, but rather to educate, to bring to light, to bring to full, to make you reach your full potential of your worth. Oftentimes, you would not be told. They would only see you as a sport, someone who can, as entertainer. That's always, some culture have always seen the Blacks as entertainers. But we're more than that. We're more than that. If only if the opportunities were given to us, if only, and only if we had a level playing field. I mean, in every society, there are those who strive at higher rate. There are those who make great impact, but yet they have a head start. And then that's always been something that affects the Black community. Not so much has been given to us, and not that we're asking. And look at the agricultural system. There's a lot of Black farmers, but they've always been disenfranchised. How do you expect a people to tell them to make ends meet with what they have? Yet there are those who were given free lands to start up. Think about it. It's like I'm running a marathon, right? And the marathon is about 10 miles, or 10 miles marathon, all right? Just for argument's sake. And you were given 2 miles ahead of me. Yet I'm still at the 0 miles. Then we have running 10 miles. You're 2 miles ahead of me. Regardless how fast I can run, I'll never catch up to you because I'm at 0. You are 2 miles ahead of me. Okay? So now think about it. Well, that's exactly what happened to most African Americans in this nation. They were not given a good start. And then it's on us. It's on us, my fellow Americans, to pick up where we left off. America depends on us. America needs us. America needs each and every one of you. That's the beauty of America. The fact that you can be all you can be. That's a slogan that the Army used. Be all that you can be. I think if we all can give it a few shot, a good start, we'll do well. So I think this is what we look for in all our fellows, that we give it a fair share, and America is a land of opportunities. Now, how you go about it, that's what's going to get you success. That's what we look for in every American. This idea that we are American, This is a nation that everyone who walks from all walks of life come here, and within months or within years, they see themselves as American. What a beauty. What a beauty. They see themselves, they hug that flag. Because America sees the best in all of us. Let's embrace this idea. Let's do it as a whole, as a big family. I know some may think that I'm being somewhat euphoric. I'm living in a delusional world, but I don't think so. I still believe that the great days of America are still ahead of us. When we all come together, when we all see us as Americans, not as blacks, not as whites, not as Latin, but as American. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'd like to give kudos to Mr. Mutaz here from the great city of Aventura. We love America. Of course, thank you, thank you. Yes, we all love America. America is the nation that call other nations to come in and give your best. America said, give me your poor. Give me them. I will definitely work with them. I mean, you guys get me emotional right now. But what I'm saying to you this evening, this is something I've been pondering for quite some time. And I've given this opportunity, this platform to relay certain things to you, and then because those things matters to me, and those things should matter to your children, your children. And that's the beauty of America. All right, I'm going to take some questions right now before I get too emotional here. You guys aren't going to get me cried, and it's Juneteenth, and then and last night there was a great show on CNN. You could see both all cultures were there, celebrating the beauty, the greatness of America. America is not what these politicians want you to believe. Remember that these guys in Washington, they have a job to keep. All right, and they divide and conquer. That's what they use. And I'm sure the past 4 years you've seen what happened. But I still think the days of America are still ahead of us. We are bigger than this. We are bigger than this. So don't let anyone divide you. Don't let anyone think less of you. Because you are your greatest asset. You are the asset of America. All right, thank you. All right, Miss. Okay, Black history should be taught, but we cannot depend on this system. Fractured system. We must teach our children. That's a good point. Definitely. I always believe that. Council Boney here. Thank you, Council Boney, for logging in. It's important that we, as citizens, we have a duty to our family, to our children. And oftentimes, I've always gone about saying when we go to school, they educate us, scholarly. But the true formation, the education, start at home. Don't expect a teacher to really teach you values. Values are taught at home. In African American history, those are values. Those are values that we should embrace. Those are values we, as parents, we, as African American, we should pass on to our children and children. That's the reason why we call the legacy. To legacy, it's something that passes from generation to generation. And who's the best suitor to pass the lesson to their offspring? You, the mother, the father. That's the reason why tonight at the Robert Duverny Show, at the top of the segment, we applaud the fathers. Those of you who played a pivotal role in the family. The Robert Duverny salutes you. Because you are an important part of your family. And then as we move on forward, we should always bear in mind that America is the greatest nation on planet Earth. I would not let anybody else tell me otherwise. And we are privileged to be part of this greatest nation. Tell me one nation outside of the United States that tops us. None. We are Americans. That's the beauty of America. Thank you so much. All of those of you who were logged in this evening, thank you so much for a great show. And I encourage you to delve into Juneteenth and then see the importance of it. And again, Juneteenth again is an American history. It's part of our culture, and regardless of your ethnic. And then I think when America does well, we all do well. All right, because we are one big family. All right, give out some kudos to Mrs. Paul from the great city of Orlando. Thank you. I haven't seen you in a while. Dr. Duverny here logged in. Thank you. Mrs. Theodore from South Florida here. Thank you so much for logging in. Again, kudos again to my lovely cousin, Mrs. Paul. Thank you for logging in. Kudos to my aunt. Give my aunt my love. Give her a big kiss from me tonight. Tell her I'm thinking about her, and I shall see her soon. Again, to those of you who logged in this evening, thank you. And remember that tell a friend that the Robert Duverny Show comes on every Monday at 8 p.m. You know, if it's Monday, if it's 8 p.m., there's no other place to be at the Robert Duverny Show. All right, so just looking forward, give you a little announcement here for next week. Next week will be, of course, June 27th. Will be the last day. All right, I just saw a new subscriber. Congratulations, Council Bonnie. Just subscribe. I just got a new notification here. You're doing a good job. You're doing something smart by logging into the Robert Duverny Show and also signing as a new subscriber. You have made a great decision this evening. It's a wonderful night to make a great decision right there by signing subscribe to the Robert Duverny Show. Thank you again. Again, next week we'll have another show. I mean, as you know, we're trying to keep the show within 30 minutes and just give you enough to dissect and at the same time enough for you to get an acclimate to and at the same time see the next week. All right, I just Mr. Muntaz here has a couple of mangoes here. Muntaz, thank you for logging in. I see 3 mangoes here. This guy is a mango fanatic. I applaud you, Muntaz. Your mangoes are coming FedEx to you, sir. Overnight. Sounds good. Thank you so much. You've been a great audience. I could not ask for a better audience than you tonight, my fellow Americans. Again, we're looking forward to seeing you next week at the same time. And let a friend know that day, Robert Duverny Show comes on every Monday at 8 p.m. So I'd like to see a couple more new subscribers. Again, I have quite a few things coming up for you for the month of July. There's a lot in store, and then I'm sure for the past year you've always seen one person behind the camera here. There's going to be some changes, and then but you make it happen. So I'm going to keep it a little secret here, but then again, that's the reason why I encourage you to share it with your friend and a family member. Let them know about the Robert Duverny Show, because they never know what they're missing. So the Robert Duverny Show touch on a series of topics that cover all facets of life. And then although primarily we deal into political, and that's what our audience often want, but then again, Robert Duverny talk about finance, love, and a host of other series. Until next time, my fellow Americans, wishing you a very, very good night, and we shall see you again next Monday, which will be the last day of the month of June, and then of course the Monday that follows will be, of course, our Independence Day. This is what we look forward to. We'll look forward to seeing you, and then again, let a friend know. Until next time, my fellow Americans, have a lovely evening. Thank you so much.